Orangutans, the forest people of Southeast Asia. 7 million years ago, long before the first humans took hesitant steps on two legs, the Earth was already alive with our distant cousins, the great apes. They were the first explorers of the forest canopy, architects of leafy shelters, toolmakers in their own right. Among them, the orangutans, whose very name means person of the forest in Malay, remain some of the most mysterious and awe-inspiring creatures we still share the planet with. I remember one morning in the rainforest, just before sunrise. The mist was still rising off the river, and the air smelled of damp earth and wild ginger. I was hopping across the stream on slick stones, trying to keep my boots dry, when I froze. Just a few meters downstream, a giant male orangutan was doing the exact same thing. Step by step, he crossed, careful not to soak his feet. He hadn't seen me yet, and for a moment it felt like time collapsed. Two apes, separated by millions of years of evolution, passing each other in silence. The challenge of finding an orangutan. Encounters like that are rare. Orangutans are solitary by nature. Unlike chimpanzees or gorillas, they do not live in tight social groups. A mother may stay with her child for years, but adult males often wander alone, patrolling vast territories. Finding one in the dense rainforests of Borneo or Sumatra can take days, sometimes weeks. It is not something you stumble upon by chance. Researchers spend long nights waking at 3:30 a.m., trekking an hour in the dark with headlamps, just to reach a sleeping nest before dawn. Even then, orangutans can vanish beyond the study zone. At the Belantara Research Station, our base inside Gunung Belantara National Park, the official research area covers about 2,000 hectares. But the park itself spans over 100,000. The orangutans don't respect our invisible borders. They wander where the fruit ripens, across swamps, peat forests, and mountainous slopes. This vast diversity of habitats is precisely why Belantara is so special. It is one of the last strongholds where orangutans can still thrive, though even here, their survival is precarious. Echoes of culture in the canopy. My first true encounter with a wild orangutan was unforgettable. I stood beneath his tree at dawn, and before he even descended, he let out a roar that shook me to the bone. A long call, so powerful it carried for nearly a kilometer through the jungle. Woohoo! Woohoo! It was both a declaration and a warning, a sound that has echoed through rainforests for millennia. But orangutans communicate in more subtle ways, too. One of the most fascinating behaviors is the kiss squeak, a sharp, kissing sound made by pursing the lips. In our study area, orangutans even enhance this by holding leaves against their mouths, amplifying the sound like a natural megaphone. At other sites, this custom doesn't exist at all. These local differences, whether they use leaves or not, are cultural. Just as humans greet each other differently in different countries, orangutans also have regional traditions. Culture doesn't stop at sound. Orangutans are builders. Every evening, they weave intricate nests high in the canopy. Some are simple platforms. Others are elaborate constructions with roofs of interlaced branches to shield against tropical storms. On especially wet nights, I have watched them snap large branches to fashion umbrellas. At Belantara, we even discovered something remarkable: orangutans making pillows, folding leaves under their heads before settling down to sleep. Comfort, it seems, is universal. A window into human evolution. Studying orangutans offers more than insight into their world. It offers a mirror into our own past. They share around 97% of our DNA, and their tool use, playfulness, problem-solving, and cultural traditions remind us of our own evolutionary journey. Anthropologists believe that by observing their behaviors, how they use tools, how they teach their young, how they adapt to different forests, we can piece together the lives of early human ancestors like Australopithecines. Why did some apes evolve into the Homo genus while others remained as they were? Orangutans may hold part of that answer. They are living time capsules, showing us what life might have looked like for pre-human primates millions of years ago. The growing threat. But this living connection is fragile. In the last 50 years, orangutan populations have crashed. Borneo has lost more than half its forests to logging, fires, and palm oil plantations. Sumatra faces even more aggressive deforestation, with rainforests burned for farmland or reduced to isolated fragments. Where a forest disappears, orangutans cannot follow. Their range shrinks, their food disappears, and their survival becomes impossible. In 2016, orangutans were declared critically endangered. The numbers are terrifying. In some areas, populations have dropped by more than 80% in just 3 generations. And because female orangutans only give birth once every 7 to 9 years, the slowest reproductive rate of any mammal, recovery is almost impossible if the destruction continues. Scientists warn that, if nothing changes, orangutans could disappear from the wild entirely within this century. Why every individual counts. That is why every orangutan life matters. Each mother, each infant clinging to her side, represents not just survival, but resilience. They are survivors of millennia, and yet today, they teeter on the edge of extinction. Conservation efforts, protecting forests, fighting illegal logging, rescuing orphaned infants from the wildlife trade, are urgent, but they require global awareness. Not everyone can trek into the depths of Borneo or Sumatra, but through films, photographs, and stories, we can bring the rainforest to people everywhere. We can remind the world what is at stake. Looking into their eyes. The most powerful moment always comes when an orangutan looks back at you. Their eyes are not blank or indifferent. They are curious, watchful, and undeniably intelligent. In that gaze, you feel something stirring, recognition. They are not us, and yet they are not wholly separate from us either. To let them vanish would be more than an environmental loss. It would be a severing of one of our last living links to the deep story of humanity. If the forests fall silent, and the great red apes disappear forever, we will lose not just another species. We will lose part of ourselves.